On episode 11 of Little City Big Voices, we're talking with Andrea Biwer, president of the Schaumburg Business Association and a leader known for building strong relationships, driving results, and bringing energy to every team and community she serves. Andrea has more than 30 years of experience spanning hospitality, sales, training, event marketing, and chamber and association leadership. She has helped organizations succeed across the country and is an award-winning business leader and a great people connector. We're excited to hear what's shaped her work and what inspires her next. Stay with us. It's going to be a great conversation about Andrea's story, connections between local businesses and nonprofits, and how these partnerships can drive real impact. Welcome, Andrea. It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Rich. This is such a pleasure. Had you on my podcast, and now I'm on yours, and I'm nervous.
I'm nervous because you're a pro at your podcast.
Not
Schaumburg Speaks.
Schaumburg Speaks, yeah.
Yes, it was a pleasure being on your podcast, and having the role be reversed.
It's payback for me.
I think it's payback, right? The natural question I'll ask folks is just tell me, who is Andrea? How did you get to where you are today? What's your journey, your story?
It's such a great question. And how long do you have? So who is Andrea? Well, first of all, Andrea is a mother of 3 wonderful children. I have Brandon, Leah, and Chase. I'm also a grandma of one beautiful grandbaby out in Florida named Lena. But I'm a mom, I'm a friend, and I'm a business advocate. My journey's been a long one, but an exciting one. And it definitely has a lot of roots, literally in this area. I could say my first job, I started out working for a la carte entertainment, which formerly known as the Snuggeries, now known as Moretti's. I was hired when I was 17 years old as a senior in high school and started working down the street, like where Drink is now, but it used to be Snuggery, just, after school. And had the opportunity of working with some amazing people. And I was a senior in high school and going on, it was December, and I was working with a lady by the name of Angel, and she was promotion manager. And they are like, Andrea, Angel's leaving. We have a promotion manager position that we'd like to offer you. Well, 17, it was an offer that I couldn't refuse. I ended up graduating high school early in January, and I took the job, and my journey began from there. But I do have to say, it technically began before that, because how I was even hired as a 16, 17-year-old is they all knew my mom. My mom at the time, her name is Lori Stone. She was a membership manager of NASI, which was the North Suburban Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And in high school, we used to help sell raffle tickets at her golf outings and, help with lots of different events. And so I had an amazing mentor. My mom went on to be president of Great O'Hare Association. And from there, she ended up founding the Schaumburg Business Association. So again, starting with, the roots here, getting an amazing job at very young and having a mother like I had, I was bound to eventually wind up in this business.
Wow. So it sounds like service to your community has been ingrained with you since childhood.
Yeah.
What you're describing.
I mean, I was fortunate. My father also owned a drugstore in Six Corners in Chicago and worked for him when I was 12. But just, again, having amazing mentors like my parents who worked hard and got enjoyment from working hard and helping others.
So you are the president of the Schaumburg Business Association.
Yes.
That your mom started.
Yeah.
What is that like?
What is it like? It's big footsteps to follow in. Yeah. Again, and I know this podcast is about my journey, but my journey really is a product of who I am through my parents. And just, this was always something that I aspired to be. After I worked at a la carte, my journey kind of skipped. It went on to the hotel industry and then went on working for the Chicago Convention and Tourism Bureau on my own. And then eventually I had the opportunity in 2004, 2005. My mom was looking for an event director when she founded the Schaumburg Business Association, and a position became available. And I took that job and I ended up working for her for 7 years. Again, working there for 7 years and went on to work at Greater O'Hare Association. And then from there, Daily Herald. And then I was executive director of Des Plaines Chamber. My first job, like, I grew up watching, did that for, as I mentioned, 7 years. And it just, when this job became available and I got about 20 calls saying, Andrea, it's your time. This position is available. I'm like, well, I'm going to put my name in the hat. And here I am.
Here you are. Wow. One thing, as I've gotten to know you, Andrea, the thing that impresses me so much about you as a person is you seem to be a connector. You really do a phenomenal job of connecting, whether it be business owners, even in the world of nonprofits, of connecting people together. Where did that skill come from? Because that is a skill.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I always had that, whether it was when I was a young person and with my friends. And I've always just, when I've met people, I've kept up relationships. I have relationships that I started from back then, when I was young. And especially when my career started and with LinkedIn, social media, just I've kept up those relationships. And it's all about connecting and it's all about learning about others to find out what they need.
I wonder uh, how your work with other nonprofits have led to businesses being aware of the various missions that are out there, including Little City, but not just Little City. How has your networking and connecting have had a direct impact that you could foresee on nonprofits because of your connecting?
As I've met so many business leaders and people in the for profit world, I think they find a real connection connecting with something greater than themselves or greater than their business. And in learning about people, you learn that we all have a story and we all want to be heard and we all have a giving heart and want to help. And, ironically, with Little City, I could go back to when I was 16 and my best friend from high school, her name is Stacy. She worked for Little City and helped and worked with some of the children back in the day. So Little City has always had a very, very special place in my heart because I learned a lot about why this mission is so important. Growing up with a mother that worked for a nonprofit, also a brother that worked for another local nonprofit called Wings. Again, that giving and getting just has always been something that I've seen from mentors in my life and wanting to connect them.
And you've certainly done a remarkable job connecting Little City with other
Thank you.
businesses in the community. And that's helpful in more than one way. So most of our funding comes from the state. So anything above and beyond, call it the bare minimum funding we receive, has to come through corporate sponsors, through workplace giving, through grants, donors, individual donors. That's what sort of keeps the glue of us together. And I think sometimes you've realized this, but sometimes most think, well, those nonprofits, they're good. My tax dollars are paying towards their services. It's really not. And when the state does pay for the bare minimum. So through your network, which full disclosure, Little City is a member of the Schaumburg Business Association, a proud member. Through those relationships, what we have seen is that it's bigger than just giving money or giving resources to an organization like Little City. The gift in return that those companies, business owners are receiving is the gift of meaning. And as you touched on, like that's what folks are looking for is everyone wants to have meaning in their life. And partnering with an organization like Little City or any other nonprofits that are part of your association, there's so much opportunity to make a significant positive impact beyond what any nonprofit is funded from, whether it be state or local government.
Yeah.
And using the example of we recently just we're in the process of opening a art center for adults who have intellectual disabilities. That is our Bell Family Arts Center. And through our relationships through your association, we had partnered with IKEA.
Right.
And
Yeah.
IKEA
They're amazing.
just, yeah, generously has decided to fund all the furniture for that setting. Now that is funding we've had to pay out of pocket. That's funding we've had to, go and do fundraising efforts for. But at the same time, that is not funding that the state is providing us for. So to just highlight the fact for those in your fan club who may be listening to this podcast, like there is absolute value and benefit that any corporation that partners with us, the gift back is that feeling of meaning.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And to hear IKEA's name, they not only support your organization but several others. And we are so fortunate in Schaumburg and this region to have so many companies that understand that. And I think a lot of their success is as a result of that, because not only does their customers appreciate that they're giving, but their employees see that it's not just about the for profit. It's also about having roots in a community and really, working towards a common goal, of togetherness.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And when I look at because we also receive support from Motorola, Zurich. The
All
part that
members, yeah.
the part I don't want to miss too is even if it's not beyond any sort of corporate sponsorship, volunteers has played a significant role in enhancing the quality of services we provide. So I think that's something else. Again, through your association, we've built this network that you've led. So even though you might not be at the forefront, you're the behind the scenes matchmaker, Andrea, that has led to many of these relationships through just your leadership at the association. So we're
Yeah, but I'm also very fortunate. I have an amazing team at Schaumburg Business Association that feels that same mission, and our board of directors really directs where they want us to be at. And of course, they're always saying to be the number one chamber. I say we're far from it because there's many, many amazing chambers. But if we could constantly strive and do different things that makes us a little bit more unique and makes us more value for our members, then we're succeeding.
you're the biggest chamber in Illinois.
Well, everybody, it's so funny. We have a member, Dave Lasavio, that always says, we are the number one chamber. I don't know the actual numbers of every
Okay.
chamber, but I could tell you we're approaching the 900 company mark, which is really big.
Yes.
First quarter right now of 2026, and we've already had over 62 new companies join. Again, and it's not about the new joining because we have to maintain what we have. But again, I just feel so proud of what my mom and a group of other business leaders, including the Village of Schaumburg, what their mission was to create this organization. And I'm so proud of where it was and where we've become the last 25 years. And I hope to hold the torch and continue blowing it and making it amazing, with surrounding myself with companies and members like yourself.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I could easily see just from our team, which is equally as amazing as your team, is that your organization through your leadership helped us feel like we're part of the community, not on the outside of the community.
Your
Or
family.
that's it. And I think that's again speaks to your leadership of bridging us together with the community. So if you were to look in the future, what do you see, I don't know, in the next 5 years being some of the biggest challenges that our community would face?
Let's see, the challenges of the next 5 years. I think, Schaumburg right now is in the process of adapting and growing. Never thought that that was possible because Schaumburg was, huge 20 years ago, but obviously we've had different things in history along the way, like COVID and different things, but I really see us rebuilding. And I don't ever like to focus on like the challenges. I just think of them truly as opportunities. I think the growth is an opportunity. I think the future really is bright as long as we continue to work together, continue to ask questions and hear opinions of other businesses, other community members, other nonprofits, and really try and find a way to work together and bridge this forward to making this really, who knows? Maybe we could be one day bigger than Chicago. I know we've got a long way to go, but hey, if the Bears end up coming out here and all these other exciting things that are in the works, the future is bright.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
So to your point about certainly you are naturally an optimist. So what just excites you about the future in the next 5 years? What are you just stoked about, Andrea?
I'm just stoked about the possibilities of what's happening here. I get excited. We have so many ribbon cuttings that are happening. So I think as looking ahead to the future to see from the first day of these businesses opening up, and we just cut the ribbon of Andretti Indoor Kart speed track. That's exciting. I mean,
open now?
It is open now. It opened. So that opened. Lynch Chocolate's open. We had a Indian restaurant that just opened. There's just so this is exciting, but it's also exciting to see where they're going to be in 5 years. And the cool thing is with the Village of Schaumburg and with the other organizations all around, Harper College, Roosevelt University. I mean, there's so many things that we are looking to the future to try to help now to make the future easier with having a good educated workforce, even through you all the services that you provide, the gardening, the workforce that you could provide to some of these companies that do an amazing job. It's just really getting that workforce together and watching these companies grow. And Schaumburg is really this whole region is just ripe for expansive growth and and again just continuing on, plowing ahead.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you say that, Andrea. And I did not, for the record, I did not ask Andrea to say anything about this, but like your plug about having individuals that we support
Yeah, you
could help
Cheesecake
the workplace.
Factory, I know.
Help the workforce, absolutely. Yeah. So we have someone who's employed at Cheesecake Factory, Illuminati's. I mean, there are opportunities here, especially as new businesses are established, to look at how we can partner. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I appreciate you saying that because I think it's often, again, I think some of the folks that we support, they have so many skills. And if we could be in the room and have conversations with businesses, business owners, and talk about their skills to look at, in some cases, even customizing employment for folks that could help a need with the business. And so we really try to promote this when we collaborate with any business, is like this individual isn't just, you're not doing them a favor of like, oh, I just
No, they're getting a
helping.
favor by hiring.
Yes, they're actually going to make money off of give back to their own community
And
by
help.
having and hiring someone that we support.
Yeah. And I know you didn't, I'm going to give you all another plug. So as we go into the spring season, another really amazing thing that you all have done for the community is the gardening and the fact that you do the sale for the flowers and all of that. So not only do you have workforce talent that could be available, you're also utilizing your workforce to make beautiful things for our community and where we could actually come here and purchase and make our own individual homes or businesses prettier and more green.
Yeah.
So
Oh, thank you.
there's a lot of good that's happening here.
Yep. And again, that as well as future opportunities with art. as well, for sure, for the folks we support. So one thing I was hoping you mentioned it, but we talked about it a little bit at the beginning. Your podcast. You want to speak to that? Because I was very impressed meeting with you, meeting with your team. You want to talk about Schaumburg Speak?
Sure. Schaumburg Speaks, we launched that podcast at the end of 2024. Really, our mission is for our chamber members to be able to come on there and talk about their expertise or talk about their nonprofit or a timely topic. We've even had legislative officials on there. We had the executive director of the PGA President's Cup on there. I mean, it's really an open forum to be able to speak. And that's it. I mean, we usually ask our guests to, work together with us on a topic, and then same thing, just at the table talking about their mission, their goals, or something that we need to know about. I know we try to pack all of our podcasts in one day, so we record like 6 of them. So it's very, it's very intense or funny. We've had topics where we've had a few of our chamber members go to Fashion Week in Paris. I just got to learn about stuff fashion. But then we've had some more serious topics where we've talked about, tariffs. We've talked about all sorts of things. So it's been a lot of fun, and I just can't see where it goes. Like you all, we do video. So it used to be so much better when podcasts were just voices, because they always say I have a face for radio. but now it's radio, video, it's the work. So but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I want to at least give you the opportunity
Thank
to
you.
plug that, because it's very special, and I do see the value as us cross promoting our podcast to get the word out, to show that there's just a true connection to community here.
Having a voice.
Yeah, that's right. So if you had to give advice to businesses that are part of your association, what advice would that be as it relates to connecting them with nonprofits like Little City or any other nonprofits as part of your association?
Well, first I would say is get involved, participate, because you never know, again, we have different events, all different kinds of things, and different events bring out all different types of people or all different types of positions in the organization. And, the best piece of advice I could say, if you're another nonprofit looking to get involved, looking to make connection, you never know who you're going to meet. And you never know if that person that you're going to meet, what their mother or father does, or what their business associate does. Get involved, start going to things, start networking, start asking questions. Go there to learn something new about everybody that you're meeting versus just going right into what you do. I think the more you learn about others, the more questions you ask, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to connect. So jump in, start attending events, and don't be scared. I know that there's introverts, extroverts, ignore that. We all get nervous meeting new people. It's difficult. People don't realize, they think I'm the biggest extrovert alive. It's hard for me too. But you know what? I just take a breather and realize I'm not perfect. Nobody else is. And everybody truly has that giving heart and wants to help. So I'm going to learn about others, and then they're going to learn about me.
Such great advice, Andrea. Really great advice. And to your point of networking, because sometimes like when anyone uses the term networking, it sounds like, well, it's just folks getting together and
business
some
cards.
business
No, you can
cards.
bring a business card.
Yeah, right.
Connect a different way.
It's it's the conversations, the in-depth conversations that can lead to monumental change. And that's what I've seen even at your events, of just being at one recently. Just a subtle conversation can turn into something really big. Yeah. And we've seen that even just through, again, our team connecting with a lot of your association's events. That's how we have what we have today, even including the example I gave with IKEA. Yeah. Like that starts from meeting, networking. And so to me, to your point, the networking is far beyond just the trading of business cards.
Right, right. And a lot of people don't even have business cards anymore.
Not anymore.
They have the
Yeah.
digital ones. But and I still go and everyone asks for a card and all that. But I think the most important thing is try to remember the name. If you don't remember, you'll remember the organization where they're with and then research them. I mean, technology, there's so much at your fingertips that you could find out. But again, what is not at your fingertips is the relationships that you're going to meet. So that requires effort, that requires a little bit of time, but as we said, it reaps a lot of rewards. Getting out of your comfort zone and meeting people and getting involved in organizations like Little City, like the Schaumburg Business Association. You'll be able to meet all kinds of people that way. So,
Well said. Well said. So if you had any final words, Andrea, what would they be?
final words. I guess the final words is first of all, being grateful. I'm just grateful that you've had me here and wanted to hear my voice. Sometimes, you do a lot of events and stuff, and you're sick of hearing it. But I do appreciate everything. I do appreciate the opportunity to lead the Schaumburg Business Association and feel very fortunate and lucky. And yeah, I think that's just my final words of being grateful.
Well, thank you, Andrea, and we sincerely appreciate your leadership. You have bridged so many relationships for us, and it's directly benefited the individuals and families we support. Whether you know it or not, your leadership has that domino effect that trickles all the way to our front line to the individuals we support. So thank you for your leadership and thank you for joining Little City Big Voices.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.